what does it really take to be elite? Most people train a few times a week. Commonly, especially the beginners in our field, we try and encourage people to start with training a few times a week, because a lot of people are often going from no routine to a routine. So going too hard too early, a lot of people love to be like, I want to train 4 days a week, 5 days a week, 6 days a week. And people are confused. I even had a client come up to my class this week. This was 2 days ago. Someone came up to me and she goes, is this class really enough to get beneficial results? And I was like, yeah, absolutely. And then she's like, so if I do this mobility class 2 to 3 times a week, I'll really get a toned body? And I was like, absolutely not. And then she's like, what are you on about? And I'm like, what are you on about? She had genuine disappointment on her face because she genuinely thought that she could just do my mobility class, which is like an active mobility class. She thought she could do that 2 to 3 times a week. I guess she was hoping that she could do that and get this toned body that she's chasing. And then I kind of followed around the class and I was chatting to her and she's like, I have a friend who did Pilates and she swears by Pilates and it changed her life. I literally said, I was like, there's no way Pilates alone will give you that toned body that you're talking about. She was like, well, she's the same as me. Why can't I do that? And I'm like, look, first of all, tone is actually related to your muscle mass. And so in order to be stimulating muscle mass, you need to be doing some sort of hypertrophy training, which a lot of Pilates classes don't necessarily get. There are Pilates strength aspects, and I'm not saying Pilates is bad, but to build that toned body, usually the most of the Pilates girls are actually quite naturally that way. Yeah. And she's like, I'm naturally that way too. And I'm like, but there's so many nuances to your training and your lifestyles. Like, is she as stressed as you? And does she eat like you? Your lifestyle must be so vastly different to hers, as is everybody's. And she was like, oh, actually, my stress is to the roof, X, Y, Z, and blah, blah, blah. But really what was surprising for me again was whether she was misinformed or she just wanted to believe to try it because she's so busy. It still shocked me to realize how many people just believe that they can get these results from such little work. And it makes sense because that's what the messaging is being put out. And I understand, again, that's what sells. That's what sells. They're those messages that spread those fast results. Everybody wants fast results.
That's why Ozempic is so popular.
Oh, don't get me started.
Costs hundreds of dollars a month, and yet people just take Ozempic.
Just jab it.
Crazy.
Yeah.